Every day, more and more companies are announcing a vaccine mandate for their employees. And if you work at one of those companies and you don't want to comply, there are a couple of options for you. You can find a new job, you can hide in the office bathroom until 2027, or you can follow the hot new trend, claiming a religious exemption.
A growing number of people are claiming religious reasons to dodge COVID vaccine mandates. In Washington, thousands of state workers are doing it.
419 D.C. fire and EMS employees are asking for a religious exemption. That's about 1 out of 5 of the department's employees.
One of the largest districts in the country, Montgomery County, their public school is now facing a lawsuit for not having a religious exemption.
This morning, at least 7 United Airlines employees filing lawsuits against the airline over its vaccine policy, saying their religious exemptions were denied.
The NBA denied the request of Golden State Warrior Andrew Wiggins to be exempt from vaccine requirements. The 26-year-old based the request on a religious exemption.
As a COVID-19 vaccine mandate deadline for City of Los Angeles employees looms, 2,600 LAPD officers said they will seek religious exemptions to refuse the vaccine.
That's right, 2,600 LA police officers are trying to get a religious exemption to avoid getting the shots. And black people heard this and they were like, hey, can we get an exemption too? We also have a deep belief in not getting shot. But this is where we're at right now. Countless people across America who have already been vaccinated, by the way, for a million other diseases, are now professing a very, let's say, convenient religious belief against taking the COVID vaccine. And you might be seeing this and thinking, damn, religious exemptions seem like a really bad idea. And maybe it's turned into that now. But it wasn't always this way. In fact, we'll look at how a good idea went so wrong in our brand new segment, Red, White, and Broken. For most of human history, religious freedom was not a thing. Most governments had a state religion, and if you didn't believe in it, you either prayed very quietly or you burned at the stake very loudly. But America's founders didn't want a country torn apart by religious conflict. So when they wrote the Constitution, they guaranteed freedom of religion in the First Amendment. That's why they put it at the top of the Constitution, because of how important they thought it was. And also because they knew nobody reads past page 2. Now, this was an incredibly progressive idea at the time. And today we think of it as one of the greatest ideas from that era. I mean, it's certainly much better than the idea that you shouldn't leave the house without 7 layers of clothing. It's summer. At least take off the wig, you freak. So part of that religious freedom meant that the government can't force you to do things that your religion forbids you from doing. For instance, if you're a devout Quaker, you don't have to fight in a war. If you're Amish, you don't have to send your kids to high school. If you're a Latter-day Saint, you don't have to come into work until later in the day. Well, that's not what it is? Yeah, but Steve told me that that's why he comes in at 3:30. God damn it, Steve! But when vaccines became widespread, it turned out some religious people had objections to those too. And that's when things started to get messy.
Not even really till the 20th century that we start to see people using religion as a basis for opposing a vaccine. And it doesn't really pick up steam until the 1950s and 60s.
It all takes root in the 1964 Civil Rights Act. The law essentially requires employers to make reasonable accommodations for employees who can't fulfill a job requirement due to religious beliefs. But the law doesn't give a lot of guidance when it comes to defining religion.
According to rules laid out by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, a religious belief does not have to be recognized by an organized religion, and it can be new, unusual, or seem illogical or unreasonable to others.
In 2012, a U.S. district court ruled that veganism was a sincerely held religious belief, which gave one employee a pass from a flu shot.
Yeah, you can laugh. But I can see how veganism could be considered a religion. I mean, think about it. They're super dedicated, they follow strict rules, and they think anyone who doesn't share their beliefs should go to hell. You know, in fact, now that I think about it, my vegan friends talk way more about being vegan than my Christian friends talk about Jesus. Like, I don't even know what church Dave goes to, but I know exactly what Mariah had for lunch. The point is, America got into a situation where it was giving exemptions for religious beliefs while being very open-minded about what a religious belief was. And look, there there are good reasons why you don't want the government picking apart every religion like it's a cheating boyfriend on TikTok. You'd rather have the government say veganism is a religion than have the government say veganism isn't a religion, and also neither is Islam. Unfortunately, though, the flip side of being that tolerant is that people can take advantage of the system. You know, it's like how when airlines didn't define what an emotional support animal was, at first, you had genuinely traumatized people bringing their pets on the plane. But then before long, I was fighting an alligator for an armrest. Can you tell me again what this animal is helping you with? Because he's giving me anxiety, man.